Are you like Ronin, who is very new to Doomspire defense and always asking for help doing a mode? Well, worry. No, more. Because these are the best 6 towers for beginners.
Slingshotter is starter glass tower. He is very cheap and spamble.
He is almost had the same design as Battler.
Slingshotter is good for beginners cars. He can solo easy mode by himself. In the max level, he will gain the ability to do arson with arrows in a cooldown of 30 seconds.
He also gains 3+ pierce and 5+ damage while activating it. But this man has a lot disadvantages with other enemies. He has a very bad DPS and low cost efficiency, so on to the next.
Swordmaster is in starter class tower.
A very cheap tower that slashes to enemies which does AoE damage at a short range.
It also has passive blocking stuns and does damage doing it. His blocking damage would get better if max mastery.
This man is very good at early game, because of his cheap price and AoE. He can last until mid-game if he's found enough. Although this man has some cons too.
He has no cloak detection and struggles with stronger enemies, so to the next.
Bomber is a starter glass tower.
He shoots explosives from a far distance which does AoE damage. This guy can be used for early game splasher. This guy destroys crowds of enemies.
Although some towers can beat this guy's DPS. Try to get to level 4 or 5 levels to Bomber as soon as possible, because this has a lot of value for him.
This is a great duo with Freezer because this makes Bomber do more damage.
He only has one con.
And that's bad cost effectiveness, so to the next. Mr. Tix is an intermediate class tower, who just generates cash from start of a wave. This man is very viable because of it generating cash.
He's very reliable and does not need enemies in range. He also gives a lot of money for a cheap cost. He does not take a lot of space like attacking towers. So yeah, basically a farm in this game, so next.
Rocketeer is an intermediate class tower. Similar to Bomber, he does explosive AoE damage.
But he has greater distance and damage. He can counter hordes or crowds since it does AoE damage. Although this man has a dead zone in his range. He cannot attack in that range, it gets bigger when his range increases.
So place him away from the trap. Overall, this is a solid generalist tower for newer players.
Like with Bomber, it pairs well with Freezer. Although this man has no cloak and very expensive, so next.
6-shooter is an intermediate class tower.
He can shoot up to 6 enemies.
He can generally be used in every mode. Placing early to late game would be effective as he can kill every enemy in the game, not counting any shielded or resistant enemies.
But he struggles with big swarms and tanky enemies. With his cheap cost and spammable nature,
he potentially could shred most enemies in the game,
provided that you just don't set them all to first.
Well, I hope you learned something today.
Disclaimer.
These are just based on my opinions. You can buy any tower you want.
The video is about to end.
I hope Masternamic pays me. I want to feed my family.
Please like and sub. I've been yapping for so long.